So we want to round up here, Senator. We see that this is a convoluted issue. We want to put some handles on this thing so that we can begin to solve them. As far as I'm concerned, my thing that I'm looking at is how we can bring about a higher level of living for the people, the well-being of the people. It doesn't matter what you do if it does not impact positively on the livelihood of the people. Yeah. So the point then is, when we want to reconstruct, what are we really reconstructing? Is it by making state and local larger so that we bring resources closer to them, or is by making federal more federal in character? That is, we are accommodating people from every part of the country, but still have federal be heavy. What is it what is at the heart of any reconstruction? In my view, isn't it to bring resources closer to the people?
It is.
Or to make them be able to have more control over their life by, as you said before, by controlling their activities at the local level.
I think what we need is reconstruction of the mind.
We start from the mind.
Yeah.
We need a lot of psychologists to do that.
The thinking.
Yes.
We have to think, and then we have to plan carefully.
Yes.
Carefully, because you see, all these things we need to, like you said, create jobs, give food to our people. Some of all of these problems are as a result of poverty. We have to raise the living standards of our people. The education level have to be raised, and then the infrastructure to do those things. We have to create wealth.
Well, but that's a normal business of government.
Yeah,
that's not restructuring or reconstruction.
Yeah. Let me come here, sir. Yeah. To me, what I think Nigerian government needs to do if we want to restructure and reconstruct the nation, number one, we should stick to the constitution, the constitutional provision. We should stick to it. We should make sure that whatever we do is in line, is in tandem with the constitutional provision of this country. Number two,
we're not doing that now.
We are not doing that. We are not doing that. I've actually
in what particular area are we not doing? Just mention just one area where we're not doing
for instance, now the issue of federal character principles.
Okay.
It's not being properly implemented, okay. And we are doing something that is completely antithetical to these federal character principles. And this is one of the major strengths of federalism in an heterogeneous society like ours. Then secondly, the federating unit. I'm talking about all the states. The state should be seen to be autonomous. Likewise, the local government. It's highly unfortunate, or it is even paradoxical to hear that some governors are saying that local government cannot get autonomy at all. This is unconstitutional. Such statement should be declared null and void to say that the local government cannot get autonomy. And that's why the local government has become the appendages of state government today. They do whatever they like in the local government areas. And this is the grassroots governance. If you destroy local government, it means you have destroyed local democracy. And that's why our democracy is not producing sustainable development as expected. So the federating unit, in case of Nigeria now, the federating units are state and local government. They should be autonomous. The state should stop depending heavily on federal government for its allocation. That if it doesn't get anything from the federal government, then it will not be able to pay salary. It will not do anything.
They should be
able to generate revenues from within.
Okay.
If each state look inward critically, Nigeria is so blessed. Recently, I traveled to about 20 states in Nigeria. I carried out a field work, and I realized that each state I visited, I appreciated Nigeria more because of the abundant resources in multifarious and multitudinal manner. But what are we doing with these resources? They are just mere potential. It has not been transferred into huge sources that we want it to be. So we can do that by making our state to be viable. Let them go inward and create revenue for themselves. So lastly, let us see ourselves as major stakeholders in this country. Okay. Because some people see this country as their own alone, while other people do not believe about the Nigerian project. Some people are with the assassin of the late Obafemi Awolowo, that Nigeria is a mere geopolitical expression. Many Nigerians are still living by that assumption up till now. They don't believe in Nigerian project. So we need to sensitize ourselves that this Nigeria belongs to every one of us. So to restructure Nigeria is a collective responsibility. There are some we can do now, and there are some we need to sit together and do it. So those that we can do now through our attitudinal differences and changes, then let us start doing it now. Okay. Let the executive do its own, the legislature do their own, then the judiciary should do their own. Let the federal government do its own part, the state government do its part. Then we should also accord the autonomy of local government to the local government.
Talking as a real political scientist. Senator, give us a final word on this. What do we need to do with reconstruction in order to raise the level of living for the people?
Well, thank you very much. Honestly speaking, as far as I'm concerned, the regions are not on the same level. If you take all the indices, the Southwest is ahead of every other region, and probably will be followed by either the Southeast or the South-South. In terms of all indices, like he said, you see, federal character is not about appointments or employments alone.
It's go beyond that.
Federal character is like trying to raise other places to meet up
to achieve even development.
Yeah, to meet up with those that are here. There is no way you can have a performance that is below 20% in the same country in some area, and some are at 70-80%. You have to make deliberate policy and effort to narrow those gaps. And honestly speaking, amendments, autonomy of local governments and all, that has been achieved as far as the national level is concerned. The Senate and the House of Representatives have already passed all these provisions about autonomy of local government. And from the fillers,
they didn't pass it. Did they pass it?
They passed.
It has not been passed.
At the Senate,
they are discussing it.
They have voted in favor of local government autonomy.
But something stopped it.
No, the only thing that is waiting, the states are now deliberating it.
Yes.
The states' houses of assembly are now required to pass it by 2/3.
Okay.
That is why you hear some governors are saying over that they block it and all that. And it has always been like this. The other attempts, this provision passed through the National Assembly, but it failed at the state level. It has always been like this. But the way the discussion is going on today, there's a lot of sensitization, and hopefully this time around, local government autonomy will scale from.
Yes.
And that would mean more resources to the grassroots. And if that happens, the governors at the state levels must sit up. Because that free money that was coming from that level of government, local government level, will not be there again.
Yes.
What he's talking about, they have to think about internally generated revenue. Yes. All of them will have to look inward to see how they can generate revenue internally. And honestly speaking, we have to guard our utterances. Today, the way these discussions are going on, if they don't control it, it is capable of preventing foreign investors coming into Nigeria. And we cannot take off with our own resources alone. Yes. Only God knows how much resources have left this country because of either insecurity or uncertainty or the utterances of our breakup and what have you. Those things must be controlled at all levels. We must guarantee security to attract investors so that they can come and invest, so that we can make more money and get revenue.
Senator, Nano, I want to thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Doctor, thank you so very much.
Ismail, thank you for having me.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. You guys are wonderful.